Welcome to News Talk, a place for current news over the world and India. Here in my podcast, you can find all the news which was trending in the headlines over the news this week. Good evening. Today is 7th of November 2020 and I am Nikanor Thapa with your podcast News Talk. In today's episode, News over the world and India, I will be giving brief news over some topics like actor Eddie Hassel dies after being shot. Then, France terror attacks lead for European Union free movement reform and ISRO launches a satellite and more. But before that, the headlines. Gunmen storm Kabul University ahead of book fair. Ethnic Mongolians battle to keep their language and culture alive in China. Actor Eddie Hassel dies aged 30 after being shot. New coronavirus lockdowns lead to oil price slump. Machu Picchu reopens after COVID closure. Powerful typhoon lashes Philippines, killing at least 10. Whale's tail sculpture saves train from derailment. Arrests after freed jihadist kills 4 in Vienna. Man jailed for burning black churches in Louisiana. Indonesia raised volcano threat on Thursday, 5th of November. 4 Italian regions including Milan put under lockdown. Teen girl rescued from forced marriage in Pakistan. France beefs up border security following attacks. Arnab Goswami, an Indian journalist, gets arrested and is to be in jail for now. No relief yet. Delhi battling dual crisis of pollution and coronavirus. Italy in regional lockdown amid Europe COVID surge. Ethiopian army mobilizes troops to fight in north. Fake COVID test certificate gang foiled in France. Anti-terror chief suspended over Vienna errors. Storm attack kills at least 50 in Guatemala, Latin America. Battle for US Senate could last until January. Kidnappers free former archbishop in Cameroon, Africa. Delhi crosses 7,000 daily coronavirus cases for first time. Union Minister of India said that no political party can ever afford to restore Article 370 in J&K. Indian Army Chief hands over 5 lakh rupees to 1971 Indo-Pak War hero in Nepal. Maharashtra permits private buses to resume operation with full capacity. Amit Shah said that they will implement citizenship law. Depends on COVID situation. US result nears as Biden takes lead in key states. Earth observation satellite is ISRO's first launch since COVID lockdown. United Kingdom invites Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi for next month's climate ambition. Now we will look at some of these headlines slowly. Kabul University attack. 19 dead, more wounded after gunmen storm Afghan campus. Gunmen have stormed Kabul University ahead of the opening of an Iranian book fair, wounding at least 6 people, government officials said. Interior Ministry spokesman Tariq Aryan said several gunmen had entered the campus, sending students fleeing. He said security forces had blocked the campus and fired back at the gunmen. The Taliban denied involvement in the attack. Afghan education centers have often been targeted by militants in recent years. Mr. Aryan said that we don't know whether we are dealing with a coordinated attack or something else. Actor Eddie Hassel dies aged 30 after being shot. US actor Eddie Hassel has died aged 30 after being shot in Texas on Sunday morning. The star was best known for his roles in the 2010 Oscar-nominated film The Kids Are Alright, and the NBC TV show Surface. Hassel's representatives confirmed the news of his death to Variety. The actor was killed in what appeared to be a carjacking, although the incident was still being investigated. According to the New York Times, the actor was shot outside his girlfriend's apartment in a suburb of Dallas at around 1 on Sunday and died in hospital soon after. Paying tribute, actor Gary Cairns tweeted, "Rip Eddie Hassel. Tragic. So talented and full of life. You'll be missed, my friend." And actress Ali Gonino also added, saying, "This is so devastating. My heart and thoughts are with Eddie Hassel's family. A beautiful talent taken too soon." New coronavirus lockdowns lead to oil price slump. Oil prices hit a 5-month low on Monday following fresh virus-induced lockdowns. More economies have tightened social restrictions, including the UK, France, and Germany, as they battle rising infection rates. The fear is that the new lockdown measures will further dent economic growth and demand for oil will slump. Commodities and share markets are also on edge with the US election looming this week. The virus-induced slump has weighed heavily on energy companies, with BP and Shell announcing thousands of job cuts this year. Philippines, 16 dead, thousands of homes damaged in typhoon. Philippine officials say at least 16 people were killed as Typhoon Goni lashed the country over the weekend, and about 13,000 shanties and houses were damaged or swept away in the eastern island province that was first hit by the powerful storm. Vienna shooting. Arrests after Vienna attack. Police have carried out a series of raids and made 14 arrests in the hours since a gunman murdered 4 people in the heart of Vienna. The man blamed for carrying out the attack was a 20-year-old Islamist terrorist who was released early from jail in December 2019. Security has been tight in the Austrian capital as police launched a manhunt for further attackers. But authorities believe the gunman shot dead by police may have acted alone. Interior Minister Karl Nehammer has not ruled out the possibility of a second attack. Some witnesses spoke of seeing more than one gunman, and police are still assessing some 20,000 mobile videos of what happened. The minister told reporters that over 50% have already been watched, but the assessment is not over. At the same time, the videos already evaluated do not indicate that there was a second perpetrator. The attacks began at 20:00 local time, 19:00 Greenwich Meridian time on Monday night, opposite the main synagogue in a pedestrian alley called Seaton Gate, and continued until the gunman was shot dead at 20:09. US man jailed for burning historic black churches. A young white man has been jailed for 25 years for burning down 3 historic black churches in the US state of Louisiana last year. Heavy metal musician Holden Matthews, who was 23 years old, was also ordered to pay $2.7 million, which is £2.1 million in restitution. He said he had burned the churches to boost his reputation within his favored music scene. A judge found the attacks had not been racially motivated, but said they evoked memories of a dark time in history. White supremacists attacked black churches during America's civil rights era. The 3 churches Matthews burnt were St. Mary Baptist Church in Port Barre, Greater Union Baptist Church in Opelousas, and Mount Pleasant Baptist Church in Opelousas between 26 March and 4 April. Matthews, the son of a local sheriff's deputy, admitted to posting photographs and videos on Facebook of the first two churches burning. All three buildings were razed to the ground by the fires, but no one was injured because they were torched at night. A judge cleared him of hate crime charges, which Matthews admitted to earlier this year, but he was found guilty of 3 counts of arson on religious buildings and 1 count of using fire to commit a federal felony. At the time of the attacks, Matthews was a member of a band called Vodka Vultures. In a plea hearing, he said he had sought to emulate church burnings carried out by black metal music fans in Norway in the 1990s. During that period, at least 50 Christian churches in Norway were attacked by arsonists in the name of black metal, a sub-genre of heavy metal music. Police in Pakistan recover teen girl after alleged forced conversion and marriage. A 13-year-old Christian girl in Pakistan who was allegedly abducted and forced to convert and marry a Muslim man has been rescued. The recovery of the girl came nearly a month after the girl's parents alleged that she was abducted by Ali Azhar, who is 44 years old. The courts had failed to act earlier because they accepted statements the girl gave saying she was 18 and had married of her own free will. But pressure from campaign groups and a public outcry prompted action. Leaders from the Catholic Church in Pakistan and human rights groups demanded that the court ruling be reconsidered, arguing that the girl had been forced to give her statement after entering a child marriage. Protesters also took to the streets in the Pakistani city of Karachi. On Monday, the Sindh High Court ordered police to find the teenager. She was recovered later in the day and will remain in protective custody until a court hearing on 5th of November. Her alleged abductor was arrested later the same night and is due to appear in court on Tuesday. France terror attacks. Macron calls for European Union free movement reform. France has stepped up security at its borders and is calling for a rethink on free movement in the European Union after a spate of suspected Islamist terror attacks. President Emmanuel Macron said the European Union's Schengen area, which allows people to cross borders freely, may need reform. A knife attack in Nice last week, which killed 3 people, was blamed on a Tunisian migrant who crossed into France from Italy in October. It was the second alleged jihadist attack in France in just over a month. France's security alert is at its highest level, with thousands of soldiers deployed to protect places of worship and schools, since teacher Samuel Paty was beheaded for showing cartoons depicting the Prophet Muhammad to his students. Arnab Goswami and Indian journalists arrest. Several union ministers and senior BJP leaders have criticized the Congress over Arnab Goswami's arrest and called it an attack on freedom of press. The Congress is part of the Shiv Sena-led coalition government in Maharashtra. Tigray crisis. Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy insists military operations is limited. Ethiopia's Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has insisted that the military operation in the northern state of Tigray has clear, limited, and achievable objectives. Tigrayan leader Debretsion Gebremichael has previously accused Mr. Abiy's administration of plotting to invade the state. Some fear this may be the start of a civil war. The head of the United Nations has called for an immediate de-escalation of fighting. Coronavirus. Fake test certificate gang foiled at Paris airport. French police have arrested 7 people accused of offering fake negative COVID-19 test certificates to departing passengers at Paris Charles de Gaulle Airport. The 6 men and 1 woman were found to have more than 200 counterfeit certificates on their mobile phones. The fakes would have been sold for up to €300, which is £271 each, prosecutors say. The arrests came after the certificate of a passenger bound for Ethiopia was found to be false. The fake certificates bore the names of real Parisian medical laboratories. Some airlines and destinations now require passengers to show a recent negative test certificate under tighter immigration rules. The 7 had been running an unlicensed business as luggage wrappers, but that had suffered when passenger numbers crashed in the coronavirus pandemic. AFP news agency reported, quoting an airport source. They face charges of forgery and complicity in fraud, which carry a maximum penalty of 5 years in prison and a €375,000 fine. France last week imposed a new national lockdown as it aims to curb one of Europe's biggest coronavirus surges and ease the pressure on its hospitals. The country has recorded more than 1.6 million coronavirus cases and over 39,000 deaths. Union Minister of India said that no political party can ever afford to restore Article 370 in Jammu and Kashmir. Jitendra Singh, the Union Minister of India, said that no political party in India can ever afford to restore back Article 370, and the unsubstantiated assertions made by these leaders are only motivated by a desperate attempt to hold back the ground, which is fast slipping from under their feet. Earth observation satellite is ISRO's first launch since COVID lockdown. In Bengaluru, ISRO, which is Indian Space Research Organisation, has successfully launched its latest Earth observation satellite EOS-01, as well as 9 satellites from customer nations. On board the PSLV C-49 launch vehicle from the Satish Dhawan Space Center in Andhra Pradesh's Sriharikota on Saturday evening. This is the space agency's first launch since a nationwide coronavirus lockdown was initiated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on March 23rd of this year. An earlier launch of the GSAT-30 telecommunication satellite was completed in January, but that was from a base in French Guiana. The launch took place at 3:12 p.m. after a 26-hour countdown. The launch was delayed by 10 minutes due to bad weather and debris in the flight path, ISRO sources told news agency PTI. At 3:34 p.m., ISRO said the customer satellites had been separated and been injected into their intended orbits. 6 minutes earlier, the space agency said India's EOS-01 satellite had separated from the 4th stage of the PSLV rocket and been injected into orbit. The PSLV, which is Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle, is often referred to as the workhorse of India's space program and has now completed its 51st Launch. Today was also the 77th launch mission from the Sriharikota spaceport. Today's launch also means the agency has sent 328 foreign satellites from 33 nations into space. According to ISRO, EOS-01 is a highly advanced Earth observation satellite intended for use in supporting agriculture, forestry, and disaster management planning. The customer satellites, launched under a commercial agreement with New India Space Limited, include 4 from the United States that are meant for multi-mission remote sensing. 4 of the remaining 5 are from Luxembourg for maritime applications, and the other is from Lithuania for technological demonstration. And right now in the Kalimpong town it's 16 degrees Celsius. That's all for the news for now. I'll be back tomorrow with a new episode named Topic Briefing. Thank you for tuning in to my podcast. To give me feedbacks and for more information, visit the podcast's website at www.nikanor14.wixsite.com/newstalk. I repeat again, www.nicanoR.com/newstalk. So thank you. You can leave a voice message by pressing the link which is in my description. Happy Diwali and have a great weekend. Goodbye.